Hello and welcome to April's Founders Log podcast. How are you doing, Kyle?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks. Good. Yeah.
Did you have a good April?
It was busy. It was Easter holidays and you took a week in Turkey, so it was quite busy.
It was actually only that week that was actually busy when I was looking at the stats. It was actually it was a quieter month because you had the bank holiday.
Yes.
But it was that week that really, when I was away, Truman Show style, everyone decides to contact you.
Yeah, it's because they've had 2 weeks of kids at home and then they save up all their problems.
Yeah, I picked a good week to go away.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So for me anyway, the big thing that happened in April was more AI, Kyle, this time Grammarly Go.
Yes.
So Grammarly we've been using for years because it helps us, of course, with grammar, but also the brand tone and all that kind of stuff when we're sending messages out. But they released in April Grammarly Go, which is their generative AI, based off ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But as you know, I've been using it heavily for what I call remixing, which is where I've written the original content,
Yes.
but I've had the AI remix it, but kept the essence of the message. So like a good remix of a song, it gives you a different version of the song, but it's the same essence of what the song was about originally.
It's actually, yeah, I've used it too. And I think it's one of the best uses of these AI plugins I've seen yet. I've tried lots of different things and some of them are a bit gimmicky and don't really do much. Even GPT itself isn't always amazing. But this one is really good.
The only thing I'd say with Grammarly Go is it hallucinates massively on LinkedIn. Wouldn't say it's a hallucination, but it's if you type anything in LinkedIn, just a comment, a reply back to a comment of someone, and get Grammarly Go to remix it or do whatever you want with it, it just goes into full-on sales pitch. No matter what you put in, it can go, "You had a nice holiday." And it'll say so put into full sales pitches. "You went to Portugal, that was fantastic. Did you know this? Did you know that?" All that kind of stuff. Just goes crazy. The only reason I could think of that is ChatGPT has scraped the public comments on LinkedIn, and all the public comments on LinkedIn are essentially just people shouting and promoting their stuff non-stop in this promotional voice, and that's why ChatGPT realizes I'm on LinkedIn. Right. I need to turn everything I do into this big promotional shout out for anything. It just does not work on LinkedIn. Crazy.
Yeah. That term, I was reading an article where someone was saying hallucination's a wrong term. It's just wrong. Stop saying hallucinate. It's not hallucinating. It's just incorrect. It's just you wouldn't say a human was hallucinating if it spoke to you and was wrong about something. It's just wrong. Yeah,
but hallucination is a marketing term, isn't it? Because Google and Microsoft don't want to say it's wrong. They're just saying, "Oh, it's hallucinating" because it sounds better.
Yes, exactly. In that sense,
I quite like the term. I like it. I like that.
No, I'm not a fan of hallucinate. I prefer your remix term. I think that's a better term. I used it today actually. I wrote something and then I got it to say it. I said say it in a more assertive tone. Then said say it more confidently. And eventually I got the feel of what I wanted it to say. It was pretty good. Yeah,
the remixing seems to work, but it is like that. That's, I think if you're using AI properly, it should be remixing. You shouldn't be using it to generate content for you that you've had no input in it at all. It should be something that you've created, but then you've got the AI to remix it so it works the way you want it to work.
I can tell when it's remixed you though in chat. I can tell which one it is.
Because I'm nice and empathetic.
It's not quite that. It just isn't your voice. It isn't quite how you would say it, or it's just a little bit too shiny.
But I've been doing that on purpose. I've been letting it do the shiny just to see how it goes, especially on LinkedIn.
Well, you've done it in chat as well. I wonder if anybody notices, but they just don't say anything because they're British, so they would maybe not say anything. You don't know.
Possibly. It's interesting though, because we were I know it's not April, but yesterday we were talking about if people would use AI instead of not, and someone actually asked me a question about AI, which if they asked the AI, would have given them a great answer. Instead, they opted to ask the human, me, instead of asking the AI directly.
I think that's because they still don't yet trust the machine to give them the answer.
They trust me.
Well, there's some reason they trust a human. They still feel that a human's the right way to go at the moment.
The other thing I did in April, before I went away on holiday, is, or might be when I came back, I did a training session for a client. They've been using Google Workspace for a long time before they joined us, but they hadn't been trained on it and they didn't know, and they weren't following the latest feature releases and all that kind of stuff. So there's quite a lot of stuff in there that they could use immediately now that would help them be able to do stuff quicker and be more productive by using the features inside Google Workspace that they were unaware existed.
Yeah,
that's the whole point of partnering with a company that specializes in Google Workspace, such as ours, because we're always on top of that. It's like we've rolled out Google Bard in early access to all our customers now because it's Google I/O today.
Yeah,
this evening, and there's going to be a load of new stuff that gets released. So we want our customers to be the first to use it. And I imagine if you're self-deploying Google Workspace, we know a lot of companies that do self-deploy who haven't gone with us. They're not going to be using Google Bard.
No. Hardly anybody is, unless they've got a Google partner. They won't know that it's available. No, they won't know that, and they won't necessarily have signed up on their consumer accounts either.
No,
I still think a lot of people will at most be using ChatGPT 3.5. Most people use that. Some will use it in Edge, but I still don't think they will that much. It's still, as you said, very much early adopter stage.
That's not even early adopter yet. Still Pioneer, I think.
Pioneer. Okay.
Yeah, Pioneer is just before early adopter. Early adopter will be when it starts to roll out into stuff like Microsoft Office and Google Workspace and things like that, where it's just naturally built into the interface, and you don't necessarily know you're actually using AI there. That's when you get to the early adopter phase.
That could come after today, so
potentially we might be about to enter early adopter phase.
It'll be one of two things, won't it? There'll be tremendous amounts of early adopters dropped into Google Workspace, and it'll be dead exciting, or they won't talk about it at all, forget the phone, and then show us something about maps. Could go that way. I hate it when it goes that way. They don't do anything, but surely not this time. Surely not this time.
They have a bit of April news. We did have a lead come in at the start of April, which showed some promise on the initial video call, but then it was revealed that there were a few other directors in the business that need to make the decision. So we've offered to give a video call to those other directors, because it doesn't make any sense for them to make a decision about a bit of technology they don't know anything about, because how can you make an informed decision on if you should go that way or not go that way if you don't know it? And to be honest, it's been a bit subdued, their response on getting this video call done. So I still said to follow up today, but we'll see what happens. But it looks potentially like this one's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, it's always difficult, as we said, when you haven't got a decision maker, or you haven't got all the decision makers, because then the other person's not going to be able to convey what they had in their experience with you, and it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, because you're essentially asking somebody who knows nothing about the technology. They know a brief about, they know what you said in that half an hour video call you've had with them about it, to then sell it to the rest of the directors. It's not going to happen. So unless we have a video call for it, it's just not going to take place.
Yeah, I think in future on those kind of things, we really should say to that person, you know what, this isn't disrespectful to you, but there's little point in going through this really with you. If you're really serious about your IT, let's find a time when all four of you can do it, and then we'll do it. Otherwise, your time gets wasted and so does ours, because nothing happens.
Yeah.
You won't do it for these reasons. And a rational person who's got a bit of sense should go, yeah, that makes sense. Always find out if you're dealing with a rational person pretty quick.
Yeah. You normally know that straight away. Apart from that one that only lasted a day. Well, that guy wasn't rational.
No, he wasn't.
New videos. So last month, only 2 new videos went out, but I've slowed down our video releases anyway, because I think the algorithm on YouTube likes it a bit better at a slower pace. I'm playing the algorithm. Not something I normally do, but I'm doing it on YouTube. It seems to be working, because we're getting more subscribers come on, and videos are getting watched a bit longer and getting shown a bit longer in the algorithm. So the 2 new videos that went live, one was a full featured one of how to mute comment notifications in Google Docs, Sheets and Slides.
Yeah,
it's one that I've been meaning to do for a long time. There's actually some feedback from a client a while back who'd asked about it, and I think that she suggested, it would be a good idea for one of your videos. It's been in the queue for a while, and finally got that done and released. Then I did a YouTube short about how to get Google Drive notifications in Google Chat, and that's using the Google Drive app that's integrated into Google Chat. That is our most successful short so far. It came, so YouTube, when it's on the creators page, it shows you your top 10 videos, and that one stayed at #1 position much longer than all the rest, and had way more traffic than all the rest. So that seemed to get picked up in the shorts algorithm, and was being shown quite a bit.
Okay,
it's given me something to work on now. I've got some decent data on that one to work out where I can improve the next short.
Yeah, got it.
So new blog posts, 3 new blog posts went live, and one of these is thanks to Grammarly Go, because it had been in development hell for about a year. I started writing about a year ago, but I just couldn't get it to feel right, couldn't get the aesthetics right on it. So I run it through Grammarly Go to allow it to remix it.
Yeah.
This was the one about IT support, why every team member matters, which was the title it gave it. And this is a blog post that explains why, just because somebody works 2 days a week they still need the same level of support as somebody who's working 5 days a week, because those accounts are still there even if the person's not actively using it. They've still got a device there that can still be infected. They've still got stuff that needs updating. They still might need help at random times and things like that. So that's what the blog post explains, because it's always a bit sometimes you get leads where they think they should pay less for somebody who's not working as often, not realizing actually just because they're not working doesn't mean the account and stuff's not being used and actively being used, and people might need to log into it and stuff like that. So development hell for a while, but it got sorted by Grammarly Go. I then did one called Pomodoro for Chrome, a simple and effective way to improve productivity. Again, that was with the help of Grammarly Go. That was actually the first blog post that I wrote using Grammarly Go.
Okay.
To remix it. It was just to see how Grammarly Go would work. So I thought I'll write about Pomodoro. That's where you set 25 minutes to focus on work, and then you have a 5-minute break.
Yeah,
and then you do that 4 times, and you have a 15-minute long break, and you carry on. People use it to help them focus on stuff. I used it for a while, but then I just kept forgetting to activate it, so it didn't really work. But I thought it was a good topic anyway, and there's a good open source Pomodoro Chrome extension, which is linked to in that blog post. That is nice. So I just did a bit of blog post about that. And then I did a blog post as well about how to mute your comment notifications in doc sheets and slides, as we always do with a video, so that it appears in Google search, because Google has a nice habit of putting our blog posts in their snippets on their landing pages.
Yes, it does.
Helps drive traffic. So April assistance, support and statistics. Whatever, I've just messed that. So I've fluffed that line anyway. This is the statistics that we had from last month. 98 times we got in contact, subscribers got in contact with us. 76 of those were getting in touch because they requested assistance. That's where they want to know how to do something better. And 22 asked for support where something needs to get fixed. Probably a printer. Normally a printer.
There's been a bit of it, yeah.
Usually always a printer.
Yeah.
So 62.2%, which is 61 of those subscribers who sent a message, they received a response and were back to doing their work within 5 minutes. 34.7, which is 34 people, received a reply and returned to their work within 30 minutes. Two took over 30 minutes, but less than an hour. One took over an hour because it required a site visit. That was the one where there was an access management control unit that hadn't got a monitor plugged into it, and it had hung basically in the boot phase. Needed someone to press F1, but because there was no monitor there, and there was no spare monitor around, no one knew that they had to press F1 to get it to go through.
That's it. I went out to that.
Went out to that.
5-minute job, but you've got to be hands-on unless you really know what you're doing. Yeah,
just to hit that F1 button.
Yep.
I think there's a keyboard and monitor there now, isn't there? So for it does not happen again. You did leave a monitor.
They've got one there.
Okay.
So they know what to do in future if they need one.
Just hit F1. 97 subscribers got contact through our unique messaging service, and only one opted to email. And from all the people that got in contact, we believe that 6 would not have needed to get in contact if they had regular training on their computer systems used in the business.
Yeah.
That's our summary for April. Unless you've got anything you want to add, Kyle?
No, I say you've described already some of what I was doing in April. I was just doing the work in April mostly. That was it. Maybe a bit more interesting in May. We'll see.
There we go. Yep. So it will be because we've got Google I/O tonight, so we're having a little chat about.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
May roundup.
I'm waiting to find out at 6 o'clock this evening.
So if you are listening to this podcast today, 6 o'clock this evening, get onto YouTube and go and watch Google I/O and see all the developments in AI and Google Workspace.
Yeah.
Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.